So, little bird told me that you want to grow hostas, eh? So you want to grow hostas now, do you? Now, hostas are just one of them really popular garden plants. But not only can you use hostas in a flower bed or a flower border, you can actually eat hostas. Now, what you can do with hostas is you can treat them a little bit like asparagus. And in the early part of the season, when the fronds are being thrown up, you can come along and you can cut them off and you can saute them with butter, garlic, things like that. You can actually eat the leaves of the plant as well, but they do get a little bit tougher. So usually what you'd have to do there is you'd have to boil them or stew them down a little bit. Now, hostas were originally imported from Asia to the Western world as early as the 1700s. They are a very beautiful plant. One of the main problems people have with hostas is slugs will eat them, to the point where, I mean, for years I tried to grow hostas and I just simply couldn't grow them, because every time they grew, the slugs would come and eradicate them. Just by chance, this particular hosta here, I thought I'd try out in the woodland garden, and I haven't had a single problem with slugs. Now, what I want to say to you is, I've come to the conclusion that this is because we have a lot of blackbirds and thrushes, and I've watched them from the house. What they do is they have these places where they can sit above the plants and they can perch in safety from cats or other predators, and they can simply just keep coming back and forth taking the slugs. So it's actually an ecological form of pest control, which has helped me to make sure that I have hostas that don't get eradicated by the slugs, and you get to enjoy the leaves without ending up with just a slimy, sticky, sluggy mess at the base. So something for you to think about there. Try and grow them somewhere with low-hanging branches, and that can help with the slug problem, because I have to mention it in terms of growing hostas, because literally some people just can't grow hostas because the slugs will get there first. So something for you to think about there. Now, really what you do when you grow hostas is it takes them a few years to build up the strength, especially if you're going to harvest them for food or an asparagus crop. What you're going to need to really try and do is build up strength from the base. I mean, they will take a little bit of shade. They usually come in a sort of bulb. They have like a crown, but in a way a little bit like normal asparagus actually. And really what you're just trying to do is just build up that root to get the strength out of the plant. So it's a really good perennial plant, usually for food. If you want to grow them for food in a forest garden, you're better off using a cultivar called Big Daddy, and it is a monster of a hosta. It's really impressive if you can get it going in your garden. So if you're thinking of the edible root, that's probably the best way if you're going to go and try and use them as an edible food stuff, and not just an attractive plant. But this one here, the variegated variety, is quite a common one. You know, they're all very beautiful plants. You can probably see here we actually have some flower stems which are just coming, and they have quite an attractive, quite a strange looking domed flower to them. What I would say about hostas is they are very tolerant of shady areas, and they're also very drought tolerant, which is very beneficial in a wooded garden as well, and that's usually why they are grown in wooded areas. So I heavily mulch this area. The one thing that can happen is that they can rot at the base, so if your ground is too wet or soggy, probably not the best option to grow hostas. And what I try and do, or when I created this woodland garden, is I put a layer of sand and then bark mulch. So, you know, to try and lighten that soil up a little bit is beneficial for hostas. So the general rule with these is the lighter the leaves are, the more sunlight they require. The really dark coloured hostas, the really dark greens and greys and blues, they can tolerate a little bit more shade. And if you want to, once you've got these established, you can, or while you're establishing your hostas, you can fertilise every year as well. So there you have it. Hostas, not just a pretty face, can be used as an edible addition to the garden. Get out there and grow some. Now don't forget, if you enjoy the videos, feel free to like and subscribe for all your latest tips and tricks on how to survive the apocalypse, growing your own vegetables, self-sufficiency and just general gardening. Thank you very much.